So today is Friday, April 17, 2025. We have two participants here at the branch and we have five participants over Zoom. So we are saying hello to you guys who will be watching this in the future later at night. So if you have any questions, mga Zoomies, mga Zoom attendees natin, you can use the chat feature of our Zoom. Unfortunately, naka-disable po ang audio at saka video options kasi minsan may nagjo-join dito na tatay na naglalaba, kita na namin yung utong niya, no? So ayaw naman namin na nakagugulat tayo sa mga ganong may biglang nag-aaway sa audio, no? So ayaw po natin yan. May mga teenagers po tayo na students, ano? So kaya po naka-disable yung video and audio natin. So if you have any inquiries, if you have any concerns, feel free to raise those concerns through the chat. Okay? And I will immediately assist you. So sa mga nasa replay naman, mamaya yung mga manonood ng replay can send us a message directly and sagutin ka namin pag nakita na namin yung message. Alright? So, as I was saying during my initial opener, no, is that listening is actually supposed to be the starting lesson. So you are lucky if today is your first day and this is the first topic that you are able to attend because you will have a full grasp of what the IELTS is about when it comes to the first subtest. Kasi your IELTS exam is actually divided into two categories which is further subdivided into four subtests. Okay? So when you say two categories, we have the written component that includes listening, reading, and writing in that particular order. And then you have your speaking interview, which is conducted later within the day of your test or perhaps a day before or after your written exam. So if you want to make sense of that, kung bukas ang exam ko, listening, reading, writing sa umaga, speaking, pwede sa hapon. Kung puno ang slot, lalo na yung mga mataong branches tsaka mga mataong testing center, pwedeng ngayon, mamayang hapon ang aking speaking, bukas ang aking listening, reading, writing, or pwede din naman sa linggo ang aking speaking. So, but the thing is very simple. Your listening, reading, writing, or written component, as we would like to call it, begins with the listening test. And the listening test is not just the first exam in the IELTS, but also the easiest. So I just want to give you a bit of an insight about the Philippines' performance when it comes to this test. More than 70% of the Philippine test-taking population is not acquainted with any review centers. Puro self-study lang sila, makikinig lang sila ng mga kung ano-ano dyan sa YouTube, sa Facebook, sa Reddit, search lang sa Google, paano ba yung IELTS. Wala silang formal review talaga. Okay, nagigets? Yet, Philippines perform 7.0 national average in the listening subtest. Just to give you an idea. Meaning, wala kang idea sa listening, pag taking kita ng exam ngayon, chances are, you will get 7. But here's the thing that many people don't understand. We contribute to the score. We contribute to the average. Pwedeng siya makapag-contribute siya ng 5, ikaw makapag-contribute ka ng 8. Nagigets yung point. May upper and end limit. May mga mabababa, may mga matataas. Ngayon, nasaan ka? Saan mo ilulugar yung sarili mo na? Ikaw ba yung talagang genius na kapag pinag-exam ka, wala kang idea, pinerfect mo? Ganun ka ba? Or, hirap ka? Diba? That's why some people have this, they compel themselves to undergo review sessions, even for some time, just for them to have a bit of an idea what they're trying to put themselves into. But the thing is simple. If you arrange the exam with its difficulty level, listening still comes on top when it comes to the easiest. Siya pa rin ang pinakamadali sa kanila lahat. Okay? So, good news. Okay, good news is that if you are planning to go abroad and your target band score is under OBS. Yan. Si OBS is what we call as the overall band score. The OBS. Now, depending on the place where you want to go, kung pupunta ka ng Canada, ang other term nila dyan is CLB or Canadian Language Band. Yan. Kung pupunta ka naman ng Europe, CEFR ang tawag naman dyan, or Central something European equivalent, something like that. Okay? But, in general, OBS is just how you add your listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Divide them by 4, you get the average. So, the key is simple. If you are looking for an OBS of, let's say, 7, ang equivalent niyan sa CLB, nasa 7.5 to 8 yan depending on the region. To 8. Yan. Tingnan niyo yung conversion sa Google. No? So, sir, kailangan ko daw po ng CLB 7 So, kung di ako nagkakamali again, double check nyo po. Listening is 7, speaking is 7, reading and writing should not be below 6.5. Kung di po ako nagkakamali. At ang OBS po nun ay 6.5. Pero CLB 7 siya. Nagkakaintindihan? Okay. Here's the scenario. Sir, paano po kung ang hinahanap sa akin ay ang hinahanap po sa akin ay CLB 6. Yan. Tapos, ang sabi lang po, wala pong score na bababa ng 5.5. O sabihin na natin na ito, naka 9 ka sa listening, naka 8 ka sa reading, tas 5.5 itong si writing at saka si speaking. Pag in-add mo yan, 7 pa rin ang OBS niyan, pasok ka pa rin sa Canadian Language Band na required. O ang problema, na perfect mo nga lahat, 999, tapos sumingko ka sa writing. O. Ang nakalagay, a score should not be below 5.5. Hindi ka pa rin makakapasok. So again pakialam po kung nasaan po kayong category. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you are looking for an overall band score without any individual test scores, OBS lang talaga ang hanap, no? Listening is your best friend. Yan po ang magiging katuwang ninyo sa buhay. Bakit? Unang-una, siya po kasi yung pinakamadali. So chances are, you can look for 7, 8, or possibly a 9 in listening. Kayang perfect yan. So ibig sabihin, ipapump mo yung score ng listening, we have to pump this score up so that if your reading, writing, and speaking will fall in the mediocre, in the average, or below average sector, safe ka pa rin kasi yung listening, siya ang hihilan ng score mo pataas. Okay, I would like to explain that, the significance of today's lecture. That even though you will not be undergoing reviews, getting a 7 is achievable. But if you're looking to improve your chances of getting abroad, going abroad, especially if you have this OBS requirement, I suggest that you enhance your listening skills. And that is the title, the reason why the title of the topic is Listening Skills Enhancement. We want you to acquire the necessary skills needed for the listening subtest pertaining to IELTS and to further enhance them through practice. Wala naman ng ibang solution pa dyan kundi pag-practice. So that you will improve. Okay? So imagine this, first time mo nag-drive, hindi ka naman agad umu-80, nag-90, hindi ka naman agad expressway. Diyan ka lang muna sa subdivision, di ba? Diyan ka naman sa cementerio, nag-practice. Tapos, dahan-dahan pa, may nagtuturo pa sa'yo. So, alalay lang. So, until such time that you are well enough to do better in the real-life setting, o doon ka na namin sasabak sa mock. Ang mock exams po natin ay simulation of the written subtest. We have the listening, reading, and writing subtests available during the days of Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you want to test your listening skills, where you are at, kung nasaan ka na ba, anong level na ba ang iyong expertise sa listening, reading, and writing. Come and try your skills, test your skills during our mock exams. Weekly, we do that twice a week. So, anong ibig ko sabihin? Well, yung mock exams po kasi namin, dinevelop namin yan on par as the difficulty of the actual test. To tell you the truth, our mock examinations were the past examination questions. May insider kami sa loob ng British Council. And we made this website, we made this UI in a similar fashion as the actual test. Gumastos kami dyan ng 400,000 para sa software development, para yung itsura niya, kamukhang-kamukha ng actual test. Bakit namin ginagawa yan? Again, babalik tayo sa concept ng driving. Ikaw ba, matututo ka mag-drive sa computer ka na nag-drive? O matututo ka mag-drive pag nilabas talaga kita sa kalsada? Diba? That's the real life setting eh. So, kailangan mo talaga siyang ma-experience firsthand. O paano sa pagluluto? Sige. Matututo ka bang magluto kung puro cooking mama sa app ng iPad ang ginagamit mo? Diba? Hindi. Kailangan mo siyang gawin in real life. O naturally, meron talagang gifted sa atin magaling magluto. Pero kung hindi ka magaling magluto, daanin mo sa sipag. Dalasan mo mag-practice para sumarap ang luto mo. Finally. Ganun lang siyang kasimple. Sumaba ka ng listening, nag-try ka mag-mock, naka-5 ka, ang target mo 7. Sabi mo sa sarili mo, hindi ko kaya ito. Ganun talaga. Sabihin ko sa inyo, yung dalawang student ko lately, nakakuha sila ng 9 sa listening. Nagsimula yun sa 5. Oh. Nagsimula lang po sila sa 5, pero sa actual exam, naka-9 sila. Paano sila naka-9? Mata ng klase. Ginawa yung tama. Nag-practice. Nakakuha ng 9. Yun po yung gusto nating i-emulate. Yun po yung gusto nating makuha. Na? So, may iba, unang sabak, naka-8 na. Wala na kami ituturo, mag-exam ka na. Kaya mo na pala eh. Di ba? Ganun lang siyang kasimple. Alright? But that is just for one situation, one question. Kasi ang dami naming sample questions eh. Paano kung matapat ka dun sa weakness mo? Sa sitwasyon pala na to, hindi ka sanay. O tulad dun, gamitin na naman natin pagluluto. O, practice na ng practice sa pagluluto ng kaldereta, kare-kare pala iluluto sa exam. O, nag-drive ka na nag-drive. Diyan sa San Leonardo, sa expressway pala ang exam. Diba? So, hindi ka masyadong makakasabay. So, we want you to be a well-rounded test taker na na-experience mo yung mga possibilities na yun. That's why you have to do the mock examinations at least 5 times. So, next week, 2 times yun. The following week, 2 times na naman. Susunod na week, 1 beses. Tapos, pahinga ka. Pwede ka na mag-exam. Kung 6 lang ang target mo, pwede na yun. Ngayon, kung 7 ang target mo, I suggest you have to do more practices. Especially, wala pa tayo sa reading, wala pa tayo sa writing, wala pa tayo sa speaking. So, that's what you are trying to put yourself into. Yun po ang susuotan natin para makapunta ng ibang bansa. So, gusto ko lang po i-highlight yung importance ng listening at ng importance ng mock. Okay? Alright. So the listening examination has 4 sections with 40 items that will last for 40 minutes. Actually, this 40-minute duration of your exam isn't true for all situations. Kasi si 40 minutes, this will only materialize if your test is pen and paper based. Once again, for those of you who don't know, we have 2 types of exam. We have the pen and paper based or the traditional method, and we have the computer based exam, which is the modern method. So what's the difference? I will explain the difference later, but to share you the end of an era, pen and paper based examination will no longer be viable starting June. So mawawala na po ang pen and paper based exam. In the Philippines, purely computer-based exams. I don't know kung sa mga ibang Asian countries natin like sa Cambodia, sa Vietnam, sa Thailand, sa Malaysia, kung may pen and paper based pa sila. But sa Philippines, wala na po talagang pen and paper based. It will become obsolete now. Ang dami kasing advantage ng computer based. Unang-una, within 24 hours, you can get the results. Kasi si pen and paper based, imagine ha, nag-exam ka ngayon. Naka-answer sheet yan, di ba? Okay, ipapadala yan si sheet. Kung British Council ang test center mo, sa Canada ipapadala. Kung IDP naman, sa Australia naman siya ipapadala. So shipping, of course, takes time. Dadaan yan sa barko sasakay sa aeroplano yan checkan pa nila. So it will take 15 days before your results are out. And some of you guys are in a rush, kailangan nyo na magmadali. Para, sir, gusto ko munang malaman mag-exam ako, tapos kung babagsak ako, bahala na. Mag-exam na lang ulit. Hindi viable yun kung pen and paper based ka. Okay? So, again this 10 minutes extra time is what makes this listening test become 40 minutes. But in reality, the entire listening phase will only happen in 30 minutes. For computer-based test, this is not 10 minutes for you to transfer your answers. This will be 2 minutes only for you to check your answers. Remember, the recording is played once only. Our general rule is listen intently, which means listen with the intent of getting as many answers as you possibly can. Follow the example. This is where many people fail to observe the importance of formatting. And please don't fall asleep. Prepare both physically and mentally. Make sure that you get enough sleep the night before your test. Huwag kang inom ng alak, no? Baka may hangover ka the following day. So, if you will be taking the pen and paper based exam, we have color-based papers. Pink po ang questionnaire, orange naman po ang ating answers.
Kunin ko lang check sa yung
Bilisan mo. Okay. Answers for items 1 to 20 is on the left, while items for 21 to 40 is on the right. Be careful because the listening and reading answer sheet is very identical. Ito po yung appearance ng official answer sheet. Pinataba ko lang po yan, pero long bond paper yan. Very thick. So kung makikita nyo, may mga grids yan dito. This is your Scantron-based. At hindi po ikaw ang maglalagay ng right or wrong here sa shade area na to. Dito ka lang po magsusulat. Kasi pag sinulatan mo tong part na to, automatically, fail ka. Bawal po sulatan yan. Examiners lang po pwedeng mag-shade doon. So naturally, check ng examiner, okay, nakailang checks ito. If you feed yan sa machine, naka-30 ka na correct items out of the 40 items given. I-feed yan sa Scantron, lalabas yun, band score na, band 7. Okay? Clear po. Tapos, opposite part of the paper, nandun naman yung reading. Yan. So, sir, what's the difference between the pen and paper-based exam? Well, it's a pen and paper-based. Once again, it will take much longer for your exams results to arrive, 15 days. Pen and paper is actually going to assess your handwriting. Kung mali ang iyong handwriting o kung hindi maintindihan ang handwriting mo, very poor penmanship, di sila mababother na panoorin pa yon o basahin yon, no? So, si computer-based, you just have to type and interact. You don't have to write your answers one by one. You just have to interact with your computer. Okay? So now we will watch a video that compares the two and that will give us more idea what is computer-based exam. As I have mentioned, you will not be given 10 minutes anymore because 10 minutes is for the transfer phase of the pen and paper-based exam. Since we are doing the computer-based test, all your answers, which you have typewritten on the spaces during the listening phase itself, during the 30-minute audio recording phase, your answers automatically get uploaded on a virtual answer sheet. So this 2 minutes is only for you to check whether you missed some blanks. Okay? And To be honest, I don't want you submitting your answers incomplete. Eh. So for example, here, di ba? Let's say you missed the answer for item 17. You didn't hear the answer for item 17. So what are you going to do? You still have 2 minutes remaining, di ba? And you missed the item 17. Hindi mo siya narinig, basically, tama? Okay ha, ulitin ko lang po yung scenario. So you didn't hear the answer. Basically, your item 17 is left blank. And Sir Kevin said, do not leave any items blank. Do not submit your test with incomplete answers. So, paano ko sasagutan yan? Make a hypothetical guess. Okay, pag sinabi natin hypothetical guess, hindi tayo manghuhula lang basta. No? So, ibig sabihin ng guess, manghula. Sir, inutusan mo kaming manghula. Oo, pero hypothetically. Hindi naman ibig sabihin 17. Wala akong sagot sa 17. Anong sasagot ko? Okra na lang. Putang ina, saan nanggaling okra? Di ba? Hindi basta-basta yun ang sagot. Okay? Manghula ka, pero may basehan. Okay? So, nakalagay dito, sa taas ng 17, boys accommodation, girls accommodation. So, ano tayo dito? Trial and error. Okay? Ano kaya sa tingin mo ang nasa 17? Games room kaya? Well, isipin mo ha. Bakit ito maglalagay ng games room? Sa tabi ng boys accommodation, then naglaro yan. Kitchen kaya? Well, masyadong maliit yung kitchen. At delikado kasi, isipin mo to ha, architecturally, maglagay ng kitchen sa accommodation sa tabi. Pag nagkasunugan yan, kawawa yung mga boys and girls. Pottery room. Parang mas bagay siya dito eh. Sa art room, craft, pottery. Tama? Okay? Bagay siya dun eh. Sports complex. Yun yung sagot ko dito eh. Kasi ang sports complex, malaki yan dapat. Complex ka eh. So anong natitira? Staff accommodation. O bakit staff accommodation na magiging sagot ko? Well, andali eh. Girls accommodation, boys accommodation, potentially, baka staff accommodation. Again ha, nanghuhula po ako. Hindi ko po narinig talaga na naganap po itong audio na to. It's over. The listening phase is done. I am just trying to make a hypothetical guess. What could possibly be? I'm not saying I'm 100% sure, but I'm based on the suggestive articles here. Perhaps this item 17 is none other than staff accommodation. Perhaps. Okay? Hula lang. And then, this time around, di ba, yung drag and drop na tinatawag, sabi mo dyan, narinig mo sa listening phase. Alright, Mary Brown, you will be in charge with food. So, kinuha mo yung food. Toot! Dinala mo ngayon dito si food. Dinrap mo siya, napunta na siya dyan. Sabi ni John Stevens, wait, I think Allison Jones is more fit for the role of our food schedule tomorrow. Okay, then it will be Allison Jones. So si food, binalik mo dito. Saan mo siya kinuha? Nilagay mo ngayon siya kay Allison Jones. Sabi ni Allison Jones, no, I think I'll try to wait later of what other roles should I wait for. Diba? Sabi niya na, what other roles I am fit for. Balik mo ulit si food. Diba? Ganun po eh. May mga babaguhin silang answers dyan eh. Alright, Mary Brown, are you okay with health? Nilagay mo yung health. No, I think I'm better suited with finance. Kino mo si finance, pinagsak mo doon, si health, pabalik siya dito sa pilian. Guys, are you getting my point here? Pwede ko tong gawa ng kahit anong kwento eh. Pwede ko tong ikwento sa inyo. Tama ba? Pwede kong ikwento. Ganito ang listening. Makikinig ka. Ito yung mouse. Igaganon mo siya para mapunta doon yung sagot. Pero iba pa rin po ang first-hand experience. Naririnig niyo po ba ako, mga nasa Zoom? No? Mga nasa Zoom, gusto ko maintindihan nyo to. Pwede ko po itong ikwento hanggang bukas na nagkukwentuhan lang tayo. Yan. Pwede ko itong ikwento na, ganito siya ha, itong mouse, ililipat mo siyang ganun ha, ganyan. Pero iba pa rin po pag naranasan mo siya personally. Okay? So, you need to build your own base of experience of what are these drag and drop type of questions are about, and also this completion of diagrams, what are about, no? So you have to build your own experience base on that. So that's what I'm suggesting. That's why I highly recommend that you do your mock examination during your free time. Ito yung mahirap May mapa ka na, may table ka pa. So you are multitasking here. Tinitingnan mo to, nakikinig ka ng direction. Ang sabi dyan, the quilt shop is in the corner of Ash Street. Ito yan. And Main Street point. So ito yun, A. Just opposite of the bank. So kiklik mo lang to. Pag kinlik mo, check itong si quilt shop. Nagigets yan? Kaya ang dami mong tinitingnan yung mata mo talaga naglalaro dyan Habang nakikinig ka, kiniklik mo pa yung mouse, so you are multitasking. And what's worse, kung kailangan mong i-type yung answers. No? Tulad nun nandun sa first part ng exam natin. Yan Sabi mo dyan, our dining table must be round, medium size, and at least 5 years old. So 5-years. Tatype mo siya isa-isa. For our dining chairs, it's a set of white or pwedeng wooden. Wooden chairs. So tatype mo dyan, wooden. These seats must be covered in silk. Blank material, silk. And must be in pristine condition. So type mo, pristine. Diba? So itatype mo naman isa-isa yung answers. So may instance na kailangan mo siyang i-type one by one. May instance naman na kailangan mo lang siyang i-interact through the mouse. May instance din naman na kailangan mo siyang i-drag and drop. So maraming possible types of exam na mag-a-appear. Okay? So for you, to get the perfect score, which is 9, you need to score the perfect score 40 out of 40. No mistakes. Kaya po ba? Oo naman. Yung estudyante ko nga ang tatlo na to, nakaka-9. Last month lang. Matanda pa yung isa. Diba? So, if you are looking for a band 7, at least, actually, ang suggestion ko, the minimum score na matarget nyo is 7 30 points. So, tuwing nagmamak po kayo, you should not just get 30, but also exceed that score. Kung kaya lagpasan ang 30, lagpasan. Malinaw? Okay. So we have the listening exam stage. Stage 1 is the before listening. Actually, as I've mentioned, listening is the easiest test. And for a reason. Siya po kasi ang pinaka mapagbigay when it comes to time. Maririnig mo dyan, you now have 1 minute to look for questions 1 to 7. So, as in, 1 minute yun, quiet lang. At pag-aaralan mo lang, ano kaya yung mga pwedeng sagot dyan? Halimbawa, dito. Ayan. Ano kaya yung pwedeng sagot dito sa 2? Blank old. Pwedeng 5 years old, 3 years old. Tama ba? Na-anticipate mo na dito naman sa desk, ang length niya. Pwedeng 2 meters, 14 inches, 3 drawers, top drawer has a, ano kaya meron doon? Handle? Pwede na, again, na-anticipate mo na. Bago pa man din mangyari yung audio. Address, blank, River Lane, Stonethorpe. So, pwedeng number to like number 128. Tapos, take the Hockcroft Road out of Stonethorpe, go past the secondary school, then turn right or turn left, turn around. Okay, house is down the road opposite the bank, opposite the shop, opposite the tree, opposite the hall. Ibig sabihin, bago pa man din mag-play yung audio, may 1 minuto ka to anticipate what you're about to hear. That's how generous the listening exam is. Wala ka nang hihiningin pa gaano kadali yan. During the listening test, listen intently, take some notes. Again, taking notes is only applicable for the pen and paper-based exams. Hindi po siya applicable sa computer-based exam. May isang estudyante nag-chat sa akin, nakasakay ako nun sa bus. Sabi niya, sir, pwede po ba namin paghaluin ang technique ng computer-based at pen and paper-based kung saan habang nakikinig po kami, kasi ang ganda ng headset talagang buong-buong tunog dyan, ano? Nagtitake note kami, tsaka lang po namin siya isasalin. Sabi ko ganito, isipin mo may mga lecturers tayo na nakakuha ng 9. Yung mentors ko, yung CEO ng Niners, si Sir Irvin, nakakuha ng 9. Ano yan? Ang hobby niyan, mag-take ng exam taon-taon. At taon-taon nakaka-perfect yan. Listening, reading, speaking. May kakaintindihan po. Okay. Pagawa natin sa kanya yan. Isa pa. Tingnan natin kung mangyayari itong gusto mo mangyari. Bibigay ko na kay Sir Irvin yung answer key. Ita-type na lang niya isa-isa. Gaano katagal? 2 minutes. Paano ba malagyan ng sagot yung answer key? Again wala pong answer sheet ang computer-based. Meron lang po tayong virtual answer sheet. Ibig sabihin, lahat po na to, kiklik ni Sir Irvin lahat to. Kiklik niya yung 1, tatype niya yung sagot. Kiklik niya yung 2, tatype niya yung sagot. Kiklik niya yung 3, tatype niya yung sagot. Kiklik niya yung 4, tatype niya yung sagot. O magi-interact siya. Hawak na po ni Sir Irvin yung answer key. Sa tingin mo, sa loob ng 2 minuto, kaya niya yan? Siya na yan naka-perfect na siya, hawak pa niya yung answer key, gagawin pa niya yun. So, naiintindihan niyo po yung ibig kong sabihin. Huwag kang gumawa ng experiment sa exam mo na hindi naman kaya. Kasi hirap talaga nun Yung taking down notes ay para sa pen and paper based na ma-obsolete na sa June. Dito sa computer based, as soon as you hear the answer, type them. As soon as you hear the answer, click them. Interact with your answer. Ilagay mo na siya agad doon sa monitor. Doon sa screen. After, mabibigyan ka pa ng 30 seconds. You're now given half a minute to check your work. Diba? May 1 minute ka to look for the questions in advance before the listening plays. Then you have your time to listen and answer. Then you are given another 30 seconds just to check after the section. So, gaano po kapag bigay ang listening? Napaka-generous niya talaga when it comes to time. Now, we should understand that your listening examination increases in its difficulty level. Just me. The difficulty level of your listening test increases over time, meaning your sections 1 and 2 are actually much easier than sections 3 and 4. Well, we have to answer the question, why? Bakit? Ba't mas mahirap yung 3 and 4 kaysa sa 1 and 2? Well, for one, the sections 1 and 2 are general everyday scenarios with social context. When you say social context, these are some daily activities that you may yourselves have experienced. Bigyan ko kayo ng several situations dyan. Number 1, transaction. May maririnig ka isang customer, tumatawag siya sa cellphone, tapos nagtatanong siya ng availability ng room for this day, hotel room. So ano yung mga tinatanong niya? Ano yung amenities ng hotel? Kung iba yung breakfast, magkano per night, ano yung mga malalapit na pwedeng libutan. Nagets yan? So yun yung content niya. Shopping. Diba? Tungkol sa mga discounts ng isang aparador na gusto niyang bilhin, holiday reservations, accommodations, interview, job interview, meron dyan, student interview, meron dyan. May na-encounter na rin ako dyan na nawala ng passport, nagre-report siya sa airport police. So naturally, tinatanong saan siya galing, saan siya papunta, anong pangalan niya, anong passport number, anong kulay ng jacket ng passport. Diba? Nagigets nyo? So kadalasan po, karamihan ng mga answers sa section 1 are information. So dalawang nag-uusap. Isang nagtatanong ng information at isang nagbibigay ng information. Okay? Next, section 2 is another general or everyday scenarios with social context, but this is just going to be a monologue. Ang kinaiba po ng dialogue, may dalawa nag-uusap, kaya nga die. Sabi mono, isang nagsasalita. So for example, I am giving an informational talk regarding shopping. When you are shopping for clothes before an interview, you have to pick light-colored garments so that the interviewer will think of positive vibe coming out from you. Parang ganon. Be careful kasi kahit madali si Section 2 by default, sa Section 2 po kasi madalas lumabas ang maps. At ang daming nahihirapan po sa maps. Okay? Bakit? Kasi mga Pilipino tanga yan eh. Sa directions. Diba? Hindi nila word. Asan ba yung left? Asan ba yung right? Turn around. Adjacent. Nearby. Hindi natin alam yung mga ganong prepositional phrases. Okay? Ang nakita mo sa map, tour. Nagbibigay ng tour. Ito yung mapa nung tag dito, nung lugar. Turn right. Straight ahead. Ano yung mga makikita? Andun siya. Alright? Section 3 is training related. School, academic context. Ito na. Pag sabing academic context, medyo may specialty na yan na subject. Anong specialty na subject niyan? Diyan na po papasok yung mga history classes. Yung kanina na marami, nakita niyo, nagsasabong sila, 8 sila katao doon. Si Mary Brown, si Josh Collins, dami, di ba? Napagkadami. So sometimes, sabay-sabay pa sila nagsasalita, nakakalito. Sino na doon si Mary Brown? Sino na doon si Josh Collins? Sa 4, bakit 4 ang pinakamahirap? Dami nagtatanong sa akin. Dapat sir, yung 3 pinakamahirap, di ba? Pero bakit ang dami kong mali sa 4? Kahit parang sa pandinig ko naman, madali lang siya. Kasi monologue lang siya eh. Kasi specialized lecture na ito. Lecture tungkol sa history ng hot air balloons. So nandun yung time, bibigyan ka na ng information about ang answers dyan, mostly adverbs, verbs, adjectives. Remember, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs have their forms. And if you are going to use the wrong verb form, wrong adjective or adverb form, then your answer is technically incorrect. Just because of that minor inconsistency. So you have to be extremely careful with your test. Okay. Next, the problem is next problem will be accent. You know, you have to remember IELTS is a global exam. All right? And part of the global exam is that we're trying to incorporate your accents here. So what are we referring to? American, British, and Australian share the same language. They use the English language. American accent is for the lucky few. Bakit? Bakit po swerte pag American accent? Kasi as Filipinos, we are acquainted with the American accent. Halos lahat ng accent na ginagamit dito is in American accent. Why? So if you can't remember, during the 1920s to 1940s, we are a colony of the United States. And up until today, ano-ano yung mga pinapakinggan nating banda? Ano yung mga pinapanood nating movies? Sino yung mga pina-follow nating mga artists? Puro mga nasa Hollywood. Di ba? So we are really, ano pinapanood nating sports channel, di ba? NBA, mga ini-interview, sila LeBron, sila Durant, sila Steph Curry, sila Kawhi. It's for the very lucky few. British is commonly used in the IELTS exam. 3 out of 4 chances, British accent yan. Bakit? Kasi, general recording. Yung exam. Sa University of Cambridge. Ano ba accent nun? British. Bakit may American? Tinatry lang nilang i-emulate, tinatry lang nilang gayahin, but they're not really American people. Kasi nga, IELTS is a global exam. They want to include all the types of accent. May na-encounter na nga kami ng Chinese accent. Hi, my name is Lucy Liu and I lost my passport in Hong Kong. Ganun sila magsalita, di ba? O, English pa rin yun. So you have to be careful with that kasi pwedeng mag-appear yun. Oh, Australian, for those who are cursed. Bakit? When it comes to accent comparison, si Australian accent po ang pinakamahirap maintindihan. Again, we teach accent here at 9.09 or not for the reason na gayahin nyo yung accent nila for your speaking, but we teach accent for the purpose of you recognizing the accent early on so that you can make adjustments in your listening exam. That's the purpose and the only purpose of our accent training. So here's an example of American accent.
Please call Stella, ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She will scoop these things up into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
So you see, American accent isn't very difficult to adapt to. Kasi we are used to it. Sanay tayo dyan eh. Yun nga lang, we also have a problem. American accent has glide. Pag sabing glide, masyado silang madulas magsalita. Sila kasi ang nagpauso ng mga wanna, gonna, yeah, cause, ng mga slang. Like if you can watch interviews of NBA stars, sila Kevin Durant, sila LeBron, sila Steph, ang hirap nila minsan maintindihan because they eat the words, literally. Diba? Yeah, so we want my teammates and then all of us go to playoffs and all of us as a team. Ito tayo na sinasabi mo, di ba? Ano narinig? Pero English yun. For them, they can understand that easily, but for some instances, tulad yan, we also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. Masyado mabilis because they are trying to glue the end of the word to the beginning of the next word. Okay? Yun yung hindi natin gusto sa American accent. It's too fast. Si British, mabagal, evenly spaced out. Ito po ang pinaka-perfect.
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Okay. So it's very easy to follow. The only problem with British accent is that their letter R's and letter T's sometimes will go missing. Diba? Sabi dyan, ask her to bring these things with her from the store. Sometimes yung butter, ang pronunciation ng ba'a. You have to pass the ba'a. Ano daw? Ba'a? Oh, di ba? Paano mo i-spell out yun? Okay? So that's your British accent. You have to be careful with T's and R's. Narinig yung American accent, tama? Same lang yung babasahin nung American at British, tama? Same lang din yung babasahin ng Australian accent. Listen to how this person will pronounce the words.
Please call Stella. ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags, and we'll go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Pag yan ang natapat sa exam mo, magdasal-dasal ka na. Okay? How do they pronounce the word August? Diba? August. Ang pronunciation na dyan ay Oigist. Oik Toiba. Yung pronunciation na ng October, Oik Toiba. Oik Toiba! Noy! That's October 9. Putang ina, paano mo maiintindihan yan, di ba? Kung di mo siya masyadong i-adapt. Kaya po, you have to listen. Ang gagawin nyo dyan na practice, you have to get used to the accent. May mga sample practices po tayo na i-upload. Paulit-ulit nyo siyang pakinggan. Diba? Meron naman siguro kayong Bluetooth speaker sa bahay. Okay? O i-connect nyo yung Bluetooth sa cellphone nyo, i-click nyo yung Australian accent practice, hindi nyo kailangan sagutan. Pakinggan nyo lang siya paulit-ulit just to get used to the accent. Para lang masanay ka. Nagkakaintindihan? Alright. So, we have multiple choice. This is an example question.
Section 3.
1 minute to prepare. Local blank. Liked. Surprised.
Now listen carefully to the first part of the discussion and answer questions 21 to 26.
Well, Amina, thanks for letting me have your draft in such good time.
Oh, that's all right. I was just very anxious to hear what you think of it. You can see that I decided to change the topic. I had been interested in looking at Bering's factory.
Oh, I think the hospital was a much better choice. In fact, well, I have to say that I thought it was good.
Oh.
There's still lots of work to be done.
Oh, yes, of course.
But there's plenty of good ideas. It opens well, and the first chapter is fine, but the middle section really stood out for me. Most interesting.
That's amazing, because I really didn't find it a bit easy to write.
How long did you work on the whole thing?
Well, I spent about 2 or 3 weeks reading and doing general research, and then I dashed the writing off very quickly. So about 4 weeks in all.
Well, that's about par for the course. You've got a while yet to make the changes.
Oh, right. No problem.
Right. Let's have a look at my notes here. Okay, starting with section headings. The broad divisions are good, but you'll have to read.
So ano po nangyari? Sabi niya, I was interested in Bering's factory. No, I think the hospital is a much better choice. Which means na nag-change si Amina ng project niya. Na una yung factory. Ngayon, yung sinabit niya is hospital na. Kaya B ang sagot natin. Dr. Bryson particularly liked, marami siyang binigay na positive adjectives. Sabi niya, the introduction. It opens well. So maganda yung word na yun. The first chapter is fine. But the middle section really stood out well for me. Most interesting. So sa kanilang tatlo, si middle section yung pinaka-nagustuhan niya. Amina was surprised. Oh, is that so? Because I didn't find it a bit easy to write. Yun ang found it difficult to do. Yun ang synonym niya. Kaya ang sagot po natin sa 23 ay letter C. So imagine yan po ang pinaka-madali C, multiple choice. Next, ito na po yung mapa. Okay. Sample na natin siya.
Well, here we are at the top of the tower, and we're going to look at the view from each direction. Out to the east, the large buildings about 1 kilometre away are on the Olympic site. There's an indoor arena for gymnastics, a stadium for track and field, and a swimming pool for races and synchronised swimming, and also diving. If you look carefully down there, you can see the train lines. The Olympic site has its own station to encourage the use of public transport. There is also a car park, but it only holds a limited number of cars. The formal park has some specially created water features. If you look out here to the south, you can see a circular ornamental pond. And around to the west, you can relax and sit on a bench to smell the flowers in the rose garden. And finally, up to the north, if you look in front of you now, there's a lake with a small island in the centre. You can hire rowing boats at the boat shed, which you can't see from here. But if you look through the trees, you can see the cafe, which has lovely views across the water. OK, let's climb down now. We will go now and have a look at the nature reserve section of the park, which has opened up natural wetland to the public.
This is what happened. Sabi niya dyan, here we are at the top of the tower. So this will be your reference point. Kasi may dalawang uri ng map eh. Yung continuous transition. Ibig sabihin, lumalakad kayo o nag-move kayo from one place to the other. Ito naman, punta kayo dito, balik kayo. Punta kayo dyan, balik kayo. Yun yung reference point na tinatawag. So, ang technique na tinuturo ko dyan kapag nasa exam ka, mata sa screen, kamay sa mouse, yung non-dominant hand o yung finger mo nakapoint doon. Ayan, talaga nakapindot ka doon. Tower, okay. Kanan, east. Okay? Kaya po ako nagsusulat ng ganyan kanina. Doon po pupunta yung finger or yung mata nyo. Malinaw? Okay. So, swimming pool, indoor arena, stadium, train line, station. There's also a car park. So, itong square to possibly, yun yung car park. Kasi may bilanggit siya na wala naman dito nakasulat. Yun yun. Next, ornamental pond sa south. Ito po yung ating directions, north, east, west, south. Sa left naman, we have the benches. Sit on the benches. Napapalibutan daw ito ng mga flowers. Ito daw ay ang ating rose garden. So, rose garden ang sagot sa 16. Sa 17, ito yung lake with a small island on the center. So, just to confirm, andito na po tayo, no? Ito na po siya. Lake with a small island on the center. Meron daw tayo makikita mga boats dapat, pero dahil natatabunan siya ng trees, hindi mo siya makikita. But if you look through the trees, ibig sabihin ng through, sa pagitan, ito, may square, andun daw yung cafe. Yan. So, kaya po cafe ang sagot natin doon. Take note ha, maps are actually the most difficult to deliver. Alright? So, we're done with the types of questions. Now we shall proceed with the formatting and spelling, which is actually one of the toughest parts of the test. Kasi ang daming nagkakamali dyan eh, sa spelling. So, ang rule natin is we use the American spelling more often. But I'm not suggesting na American spelling lang po dapat. Kasi may mga occasions which British spelling is the spelling, you just have to copy it. Okay? Later, I'll give you some sample. All caps are accepted. Actually, my suggestion is, ang sagot mo talaga lagi naka-all caps. Kasi, ang tendency niyan, let's say, ang sagot mo dito ay Saint John's Chapel. Ang tamang sagot ay Saint. Malaki yung C. Just because di mo na-capitalize, mali ka. Pero kung naka-all caps yan, correct ka. Wala siyang problem. So, ang suggestion po natin, mas-suggested po ang all caps. Sa tenses, what past is, you have to be careful ha. Pag nakakita ka ng be verb or any of the auxiliary verb, be, dapat past participle ang kasunod niya. Yan. So, limbawa, nakalagay doon sa question, the minister, yan, must be blank first. Tapos, ang nadinig mo, we have to inform the minister first. Narinig mo ha? Sir, narinig ko po kasi inform. Kaya yung inform, yun po ang sinagot ko dito. Diyan. Yun po yung nadinig ko eh. So you will not be correct because you have to convert your answer to fit the blank. Be informed. Kasi may be verb siya. So dun po pumapasok ang iyong grammatical range and accuracy sa listening. Date, any format would do. So let's say, ang nakalagay dyan, write no more than 2 words and or a number. Tapos, ang sagot mo is November 23. Yung sagot ng isa, dahil ito yung narinig niya, 23rd of November. Sino mas tama dyan? Yung November 23. Kasi this is one word, second word, third word, which exceed the write no more than 2 words and or a number. So, dapat po, look at the instruction pa din. Alright? Sir, ano po ba ibig sabihin talaga ng write no more than 2 words or write no more than 3 words and or a number? Gawin natin to ngayong 3. Write no more than 3 words. Yan. Kasi sir, paano kung ang sagot ko, halimbawa, student number is AE 415672. Ang daming number na, mali na po yan agad. Hindi po ibig sabihin na ganon. So, we are considering number as part of a unit. Lalo kung part siya ng date. No? Kaya siya makakount as 1 unit or as a word. Now, if you're going to do this, AE-415-672 or space, walang problema. Kasi naka-write no more than 3 words ka. So, 1 unit, second unit, third unit. Pero kung write no more than 2 words at pinaghiwa-hiwalay mo siyang ganyan, magkakaproblema ka na. Kaya dapat, kapag nagsusulat po kayo ng mga policy number, passport number, student number, hindi ko sinasuggest na walang hyphen at all or walang space ha. But, hyphens and spaces are no longer necessary. Hindi naman siya importante. Why would I put that? Diba? Okay. Next. Sir, sabi mo dapat proper yung spelling eh, diba? Well, I'm not implying. Kasi may ganitong situation tayong na-encounter. Okay, may na-encounter po tayo na ganito ang situation. This is a table that depicts the match schedule, football match schedule. Yan. Team. Date. Venue. Item number 14. Ang venue ay sa yan. Next ay Red Devils on 11th Sept. Item number 15. Okay, ganito mo narinig yung audio. Alright. For our football match schedule, the Blue Dragons will be featured on September 9. At the British Sports Centre. 2 days later, the Red Devils will face them at the same venue, at the British Sports Yan. Parehong mali po ang inyong sagot. Okay? Bakit? Yung format ng September 9 ay dapat gagayahin lang po doon. So, magiging 9 Sept. Okay po ha? Gusto kong sabihin sa inyo na hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon yung complete spelling ang tatama. Titingnan nyo kung ano yung nakabigay sa format. Oh sir, bakit mali itong center na to? Naka-British spelling to. Ibig sabihin yun talaga yung spelling niya eh. Parang ang pangalan ko, Kevin. Di ba? Yan talaga yung binigay sa akin pangalan. Tapos, gusto mong baguhin dahil ang spelling sa inyo ng Kevin, M-A-H. Kevin. Di ba? May pinalitan ka. Matutuwa ba ako noon? Siyempre, hindi. Nagets po yung punto ko. So, you have to follow the format of the example given. Ayan na. Units of measurement. May mga occasions na kailangan mo siyang i-spell out. cm versus centimeters. Yan. May mga occasions na kailangan mo siyang i-spell out. Walang format, sir eh. Ang sabi dyan, 3 meters. Ang nilagay ko, 3m. Tama po ako, mali. Walang format. Walang binigay na format. Walang example na binigay. 3 meters daw. Ang nilagay ko, 3m. Tama ba? Mali. Bakit? Kasi ang 3M, pwedeng 3 million yan. Pwedeng 3 miles din yan. Pwedeng 3 months. Diba? So, kailangan mo siyang buuin. Ano spelling? American, British. Walang format eh. So, stick with American spelling. Kasi doon tayo masanay. Tama ba? Okay. Mga monetary signs. Actually, sa pen and paper based, pinapakabisado ko yung dollars, pounds, euros, cents, yen. Pinapakabisado ko yan sa mga students. Dahil kailangan siyang isulat talaga before. Eh ngayon, dahil sa keyboard, wala naman yung shortcuts, nakalagay na po, naka-indicate na po yung ating mga monetary symbols. Sa exam. Nandun na siya. Question so far? Okay?
With regards to address,
Yes.
like if the audio says number, do we have to write the numbers
Okay.
for the specific number?
Okay, question here at the branch. Addresses daw. Let's say, ang sinabi is number 42. Sabi na, di ba? Number 42. Pwedeng ganyan, di ba? Pwedeng number 42. Or pwedeng hashtag lang. Wala ka nang ilalagay. 42 would do. Okay? Okay, sample. Kuha po ng lapis papel kung wala. Okay na yung cellphone. Sagutan yung 21 and 22.
Now turn to Section 3. Section 3. You will hear two friends discussing a course they have just done. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 27.
Oh, Ben, I just remembered I never filled in that form for Nick.
Ah.
Did you do it?
The course feedback form.
Yes. If you want, we can do it together. I've got mine here.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. let's have a look then. What do we have to do?
Let's fill in the top first. Let's see. Course code.
It's communication in business.
Okay. Communication in business. I do know that, but what's the code?
CB16 something. CB162, isn't it?
That's it. Okay. And dates. When did we start? I remember my birthday's on May 4th, and it was the day after. It must have been May 5th.
Gosh, doesn't seem that long ago, does it?
No. And we finish at the end of this week on Friday, so that's July 15th.
16th.
Oh.
Monday was the 12th.
Yeah.
Right, that was the easy bit. Now, let's have a look. Please give your comments on the following aspects of the course. Okay, what's the first one? Oh, course organisation. What do you think?
What's your answer for 21? May 5th. It's the day after. Oh, so 22? July 16th. Okay? Pwede, either way.
Now to...
So tips in listening, there are questions in the answer that are not given in succession. Listen intently. If there's a spelled out information, take note of it. Most likely it is an answer. Get clues from the questionnaire itself. The corrected information by the speaker is always the correct one. So mag-sample lang muna tayo ng isa pa.
When you enter the site, please make sure you keep to the paths at all times. There are a few other things, the highlights of the site, if you like, that I want to mention. Take a look at the map. Our present location is marked at the bottom.
You're here.
This year, we've identified the foundations of an ancient bridge.
Bridge.
And it's really
What?
exciting today because a team of divers are in the river searching for lost objects. To reach the bridge, take the main path ahead of you, go straight on, and keep going till the path bends to the left.
Kakaliwang
You'll
konti.
see a smaller track leading off to the right.
Kakanan.
Follow that to take you to the river, where the divers are.
Ayun. B.
You might be interested to see the rubbish pit.
Rubbish pit.
This is very near the castle walls in
Castle
the
wall.
northwest corner of the site.
Northwest.
It actually dates to the time of the castle and not the ancient village. We found oyster shells and fish bones, and we assumed they were thrown from the castle kitchen above. One area we excavated in the first summer uncovered the site of a meeting hall. We knew it was an important building because it had 2 rows of post holes, deep enough to support a large roof. It's the largest structure in the central area of the site, next to the current excavation area.
Katabi. G.
Last year, we discovered a fish pond in the ancient village.
Okay.
Normally, these were beside a river. The pond here is further away, but it's possible the river has moved slightly. Anyway, to get there from here, you turn right at the first information board you come
Yeah.
to,
Kanan.
and follow the path into the trees.
Trees.
Before you come out of the trees, you'll see it on your right.
Ta.
If you reach the river, you've gone too far.
Okay, sa I nga.
So, does anyone
That is the end of part
Eh?
2.
Correct.
You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 2.
Dito tayo kay Manjiro. Sige.
It wouldn't be one thing.
First, teen.
Right. So here we are in Fairhaven, and we have a couple of hours to spend in this historic center before we carry on to our motel. And as you'll know from the itinerary of our trip, we're visiting Fairhaven because of its historical links with a man called Manjiro Nakahama. So I'll begin by giving you a brief overview of his life, and then you can explore the town at your leisure. Well, Manjiro Nakahama, as he was then known, was born in 1827 in a village by the sea in what is now Toshishimazu in Japan. And like many people in that town, he became a fisherman when he was just a youngster. One day in 1841, when he was just 14 years old, he and some others were fishing far off the coast of Japan when they were caught in a storm and shipwrecked on a small deserted island. They had to wait for 6 months before they were rescued by an American whale ship that had stopped at the island by chance. 4 of the 5 Japanese were put ashore in Hawaii, but Manjiro had become friends with the captain, William Whitfield, who came from the town of Fairhaven, where we are now, and he chose to remain aboard and to return with the boat to the USA. So Manjiro unwittingly became the first Japanese ever to set foot on American soil. He came back right here to Fairhaven with Whitfield and stayed with the Whitfield family, who paid for his education here in the town. He studied mathematics and geography, as well as shipbuilding and navigation. But he missed his mother and his own country, and eventually he went back to Japan, where he had a responsible position as a university teacher, and also served an invaluable role as interpreter during the initiation of relations between Japan and the United States in the middle of the 19th century. But the most interesting thing is that the links between Toshishimizu and Fairhaven have remained and grown stronger over the years, in spite of the distance between them. And in fact, the two places now have the official status of sister cities. Both places are ports, so in fact the inhabitants have a lot in common. There have been a number of visits by the inhabitants of Toshishimizu, in particular at the time of the festival, which is held every 2 years here in Fairhaven to celebrate the life and achievements of John Manjiro. It takes place in the fall, and there's an ever-growing program including drumming, singing, martial arts, and stalls selling Japanese and American food. So if you're going to be in the region around then, it's really worth a visit.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20 on page 129.
$30 yan, ah. So, puro pa left to. Hinahanap natin dito.
Now listen and answer questions 18 to
Whitworth
20.
family house.
Now, many of the buildings that Manjiro Nakahama knew in Fairhaven are still standing today. And so if you'd just like to hand round some copies of this map, I'll suggest the best route to follow to see them. Okay, so if you look at the bottom of the map, you can see the Millicent Library.
Okay.
And that's where we are now. Now, to follow the John Manjiro Trail, you go out of here along Center Street and then head up Main Street until you get to Pilgrim Avenue. Go down there and turn right at the end. Go straight on, and just on the corner with Oxford Street, you'll see a 2-story house. This is the Whitfield family house, and this is where Manjiro first stayed when he came to Fairhaven. It's still a private residence, so please respect the owner's privacy. Okay, now if you carry on along Oxford Street, then turn left at the end, you'll come to North Street.
North.
And about halfway down there is what's known as Old Oxford School. This was the very same school that Manjiro attended when he lived here. It was considered to be the best school in town because of the quality of the building. Unusually, it was built of stone, and the quality of the teaching. Nowadays, it's usually closed, except on special occasions. Go on to the end of North Street and turn the corner onto Adams Street. If you follow the road down back towards the library, you go round a couple of sharp bends, and on the second of these, you can see the School of Navigation, which Manjiro also attended. And if you follow the road on, you'll soon find yourself back here at the library. And I'd suggest you spend some time looking around that too, if you have any time left. Right. Now, does anyone have any questions?
Check. 11 fisherman. Fisherman, teka. Picture ako na lang. Okay, let's check. 11 fisherman, 6 months, captain, education, interpreter, sister series, festival, IB, correct. All right. So that's how you do the listening practice. Meron po tayong actual examination during mock exams. Unfortunately, sira pa po yung aming website dito due to the software update ng aming mga PCs. So hopefully by next week, mapuntahan na ito ng IT. So mga gusto po mag-practice sa bahay, kindly search for these websites. Yan search for IELTS online tests.com. Search nyo lang po siya para makapag-practice po kayo ng mock conveniently at home. Yan. Okay? So yun lang. Sa mga nag-participate sa Zoom, Jeff Lore, John Louie, Maribeth, Marzon, Mina, Ronilyn, Sunshine, Garcia. Uy, may sex bomb tayong kasama dito. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. God bless and good luck on your exams. Bye.